September 1971, London. Amateur radio operator Robert Rowlands is at home on Wimpole Street, turning the dial of his receiver in search of someone to talk to. And then, through the static, he catches unfamiliar voices. Two men speaking calmly, matter-of-factly. One of them says, "We've got £300,000 here. We'll split it in the morning when we get back." Robert can't believe his ears. He calls the police. The police don't believe him, but check anyway. Combing through 750 banks within an 8-mile radius. They walk into the right one and leave empty-handed, because at that very moment, the robbers are sitting inside the bank vault, silent, waiting. This is not a movie, although they did make a movie about it. This is the Baker Street robbery, the most audacious heist in British history, complete with a tunnel, disabled alarms, a government cover-up, and a secret officially classified until 2071. Anthony Gavin is no ordinary criminal, a former soldier of the Royal Fusiliers, disciplined, methodical, a natural team player. In 1970, he is 38 years old, and he is reading a short story by Arthur Conan Doyle, The Red-Headed League. In the story, criminals rent a shop next to a bank and tunnel their way into the vault. Sherlock Holmes exposes them. Gavin reads this, and his mind isn't on Holmes. He's thinking about the criminals. Lloyd's Bank at 187 Baker Street, 1 block from the legendary address of 221B. The Fort Knox of London banking, armored doors, safe deposit boxes for 1,000 clients, a trembler sensor system. Any movement inside the vault would trigger an immediate alarm, and 2 feet of reinforced concrete in the floor. This is where Gavin decides to break in, through the floor. September 11th, 1971, Friday. 5 p.m., the bank closes. The crew has exactly 65 hours before it opens again on Monday morning. The robbers enter Lissac, head down to the basement, and begin the final push. Explosives, a hydraulic jack, a thermal lance. The vault floor gives way. Outside, Bobby Mills with a walkie-talkie. He watches the street and relays everything to the crew inside. And this is where the story takes its first unexpected turn. Robert Rowlands, the amateur radio operator living nearby, accidentally picks up the signal from their walkie-talkies. He hears the men discussing the haul and coordinating their moves. He calls the police at 11 o'clock at night. The officers are skeptical, but ask him to keep recording. Rowlands puts it on tape. The police begin checking banks, all within an 8-mile radius. Absurd. The walkie-talkies had a range of no more than a mile. Why such an enormous search area? On Sunday, at 3:30 in the afternoon, officers approach the vault door at Lloyd's on Baker Street. They look. The door is intact. The lock is secured. The vault appears undisturbed. They leave. Inside, just a few meters away, the entire gang sits in silence. In 30 hours, they had cracked open 268 boxes out of roughly 1,000. Cash, jewelry, documents. The total value of the haul, somewhere between £1.5 and £4 million sterling. In today's money, up to £50 million. On Monday morning, bank staff discovered a hole in the vault floor. At first, the story exploded across the British tabloids. They called it the walkie-talkie robbery. Radio, newspapers, everyone was talking about nothing else. And then, 4 days later, silence. Total silence. Every outlet stopped covering the story. All at once, the British government issued a D-notice, an official directive prohibiting the media from covering certain topics in the interests of national security, a tool reserved for genuine threats to the state. Espionage, military secrets, not for a bank robbery. So why? This is where the story transforms from a crime chronicle into a political thriller. Among the clients of Lloyd's Bank on Baker Street were hundreds of wealthy Londoners, businessmen, aristocrats, celebrities. The contents of their boxes, cash in envelopes, undeclared assets, compromising materials, everything people keep away from home. According to the version later depicted in the 2008 film The Bank Job, starring Jason Statham, one of the boxes contained photographs of Princess Margaret, sister of Queen Elizabeth II. The pictures were allegedly taken on the island of Mustique during a holiday and had come into the possession of a man known as Michael Dix, a prominent black nationalist figure and extortionist. He was using them as insurance against arrest. According to this version, MI5 didn't merely know about the robbery in advance, it orchestrated it, or at the very least, allowed it to happen, using the cover of a criminal operation to retrieve compromising material involving the royal family. This explains a great deal. Why the police searched within an 8-mile radius when the walkie-talkies had a range of barely 1. Why, having arrived at the right bank, they didn't open the vault. Why, after 4 gang members were convicted, the search for the rest was quietly dropped, despite an insurance company offering £30,000 for any information. Why several of those involved were never identified and simply vanished. The explosives expert, Mickey Skinny Gervais, disappeared for good. His identity was never officially established. The full case files have been classified by the British government. The date of declassification, 2071, exactly 100 years after the robbery. Gavin and 3 accomplices were eventually caught a month and a half later, in October 1971. Detectives had been tailing one of the crew until he handed a bag of money to middlemen. Only £231,000 was recovered out of the millions stolen. In 1973, the case went to trial. Gavin, Tucker, and Stevens pleaded guilty. They were sentenced. The bulk of the money was never found. Robert Rowlands, the one man who tried to stop the robbery, spending hours recording the criminals' communications. The police initially threatened to charge him for intercepting unlicensed radio transmissions, then thought better of it. Lloyd's Bank sent him a check for £2,500. A thank you. The Baker Street robbery is a story in which nothing is quite what it seems. The robbers took their cue from Sherlock Holmes and turned his methods against him. The police knew about the robbery in real time and failed to catch anyone in the act. The government silenced the press, and in doing so, only fueled 50 years of fascination. The truth about what was actually kept in those boxes, who was really behind the robbery, and why the state went to such lengths to bury the details, officially remains a secret until 2071.